All right, like I said, hour one, segment one in three, two, one.
Yahee! Welcome, America. That's right. It's the Cajun contractor Michael King, and this is Home Talk USA, right here on the King's Broadcasting Network, streaming live all across the great, which we call the Great Americas. We want to welcome all of you. We got a great 3 hours for you. We sure hope you stay with us. Got a lot of jam-packed information we want to discuss with you when it pertains to your home, because as you know, your home is your greatest investment. So for the past 28 years, I've been here each week, every week, having some different home improvement industry experts to discuss your home and home projects and home materials and supplies. And we cover all sorts of issues here. And I always want to make this announcement, though, if it's getting towards the end of the year, and if you have a guest or a topic you would like for me to discuss with you, just send me an email at michaelking1350@yahoo.com. Tell me a little bit about the subject matter and a little bit about the topic. And if it meets our criteria, I will go out and find the very best expert in that field. So check out everything at hometalkusa.com and talk about an industry expert. He is no stranger to Home Talk USA. His name is Bill Stengel. He's with Summit Solutions. And if you're a regular listener of the show, Summit's one of the leaders in pest control solutions, and they have all sorts of products that they like to discuss with us. It is a seasonal company, and they have seasonal products and technology depending on where you at in the season. As you know, it's now fall. But we have some problems, insect problems. We just got past summer, but we're going to discuss that. He's on the line right now, and his name is Bill Stengel with Summit Solutions. Mr. Bill, how you doing, my buddy?
Nicole, how are you?
Oh, great. I always enjoy our discussions. You come on 3 or 4 times a year, depending on what the season is, that I call it the flavor of the day, because let's face it, you're not going to go through the whole year and be unscathed when it comes to insects and repellents and all this great. So what's the problem right now? No, before I get into this, though, because I know we're going to talk about this green Armor insect repellent, which is very popular, and I know we should use it right now. But we have a lot of new audience members, a couple of new affiliates, and they might not be familiar with Summit Solutions. Tell us a little bit about the history, a little bit about your background for our new audience members.
Be happy to. So Summit's been in business for 65 years. We're a Baltimore-based company, and we manufacture all of our own products. And we're really best known for a proprietary product of ours called Mosquito Dunks. And I'm sure a lot of people in your audience have heard of it or used it, but if not, Mosquito Dunk is a little donut-shaped item that you place on standing water. So ponds, any standing water anywhere.
So pretty much your focus has been in mosquito control, not mosquito elimination, because we got to come down to reality here. That ain't gonna happen. Mosquitoes have been around since the prehistoric days, and they're not going anywhere. It's just that they know how to survive in the atmosphere, the elements, the weather. It's just a breeding ground. So unless you eliminate rain and eliminate water spots, and you can't eliminate them, but you can control them, and that's what Summit Solutions have developed their whole existence, their corporate existence in the solution, and try to eradicate as best as possible, right, Bill?
Absolutely, and you're right. I mean, mosquito is our forte, and we're a worldwide supplier on some of these mosquito products.
Yeah, and I want to mention before we start this, because there's a lot we need to discuss, obviously, but up until about 15 years ago, this show's been on for 29 years. So we've been on a long time. Three 3 decades. Wow. Well, I can't believe I just said that. But 3 decades. Wow. That's a long time. But when we first started this, we were thinking about outdoor living. Oh, mosquitoes, it's summer, mosquitoes are out. You got the female mosquito, they're going to bite you and eat blood. We did all the basics, but then, about 15 years ago, man, I didn't realize that we had an epidemic of West Nile. Some dangerous mosquito bites that we were never ever talked about. And then all of a sudden, this started to surface that became a health issue is because it's highly contagious. And you don't know if you have a mosquito bite, whether or not it was a West Nile transfusion there. You know what I'm saying? So it became an issue that really got in front of the news there because each, county, municipality, we have parishes in Louisiana, was going to have to alter their spraying process to try to stop these deadly bites that were causing all these fatalities all across the subtropical areas of the United States. Right, Bill?
No question. I was reading just this morning that I think yesterday in Los Angeles, there was a fatality for West Nile virus. So
yes, you see, so it's not
it
just
hasn't gone away.
Yeah, it's not just a subtropical thing anymore because they can survive in any element. So let's talk about green armor, this insect repellent clothing and gear. I know you're proud of this. We talked about this off the air. It's really gaining some market traction here. So explain a little bit about it, break it all down for us, and how this can really help with mosquito bites.
Most people are familiar with the offs and cutters and the other things that you spray on your skin. This one's different in that, we're saying, yeah, please spray that stuff on your skin. You need it. But this is offering full body protection because you're spraying your shoes and socks and pants and shirt. And it's going to kill and repel ticks, mosquitoes, chiggers, and mites that land on that clothing. So perfect for hunters, hikers, campers. This time of year, when you got so many hunters going out, so many people that are hiking because the fall is coming upon us, and mosquitoes may be declining, but ticks are really a big problem out there. And you read about some of the tick-borne diseases, and you won't sleep well at night. So, we're just asking people to give this a try. You spray your clothing, you let it dry. It'll kill and repel in your clothing for up to 6 weeks, even after laundering. So, most people don't even know that.
Well, I know we're talking about human problems, but one thing we failed to mention is all the pet owners, and that's where the tick comes in, right?
Definitely. But for humans too, ticks, there's some really nasty diseases. My favorite is the one called alpha-gal syndrome, which makes you permanently allergic to red meat.
Yeah. Well, Bill, hold on that thought right there. We got to take a short break, got to pay some bills. We're talking to Bill Stengel. He is with Summit Solutions right here on Home Talk USA. Don't forget, the top of the hour, the Invent America show with me and the inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton. So we're going to take a short break right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network. This is the Cajun contractor, Michael King. I'll be right back. Y'all come back now. You hear?
How does that one manifest? Because that's bugged out. That you literally get a bite, you get the rash, and then you can't eat meat?
Correct.
How, is it a stomach issue or what?
It's a protein that's carried by the tick that when it gets into your body via the bite, it causes your body to send antibodies out because it's basically recognizing that red meat is the irritant. So you become allergic to eating it.
Wow. So let's talk about that also.
That's
John brought up a good.
We've been seeing it more and more. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
especially
here we
in the
go.
Northeast. All right, let's do it. All right.
So this is segment 2, hour 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Yahee! Welcome back to Home Talk USA. This segment of the show is sponsored by Product Quick Start. Noah Neely and Product Quick Start has been specializing in meeting prototyping and manufacturing needs for inventors. There's only one company to think about, and that's Pro Quick Start. We're talking to Mr. Bill Stengel right now with Summit Solutions. We're talking about insect control, insect repellent. We was just talking about the Green Armor insect repellent clothing and gear. Now, Bill, we just had a conversation with me and my producer John. I want to focus on that a little bit because on the break I went online and I was looking at some situations, especially out in the Northeast, where the tick situation has really gotten real bad. But now it's causing some human problems, with digestion of red meat. Now, tie all this into us and explain to what I'm talking about here.
There are quite a few tick-borne diseases. The one that's most well known is probably Lyme disease. And Lyme disease is carried by a black-legged tick, or often referred to as a deer tick. And they're tiny little things. And in the Northeast and the upper Midwest, there's almost epidemic proportions of people that get bitten by this tick and get this disease, which oftentimes goes untreated for a while, and it can end up causing major problems later with arthritis and rheumatism and respiratory issues, and it's a pretty serious disease. And there's plenty of other diseases out there. But the one that's really catching attention for a lot of people right now, and it's transmitted by a particular tick called the Lone Star tick. And Lone Star tick, you think, oh, it's from Texas. Well, no, not really. They call it Lone Star because this particular tick has a white dot on its back.
Wow.
Hence Lone Star. And it's East Coast down, wrapping around into Florida and getting into Louisiana and into Texas, and it's continuing to spread. But with this, if you are bitten by an infected tick, you can contract what's called alpha-gal syndrome, ALPHAGAL. And what that is in layman's terms is it gives you a permanent allergy to any mammalian meat, any red meat. So steak, pork, venison, any of that.
Wow.
You suffer allergic reactions, and those allergic reactions can vary from being an irritant to life-threatening.
Wow. Now let's move on to the Summit Professional Insecticide that you want to talk about. Specifically, that Summit Ultra Permicide, and then you have the Permicide P concentrate. So break that down for us, and why was it developed, and what makes it so special?
So these are actually kind of older technologies. The first item, the Summit Ultra Permicide, is an oil-based insecticide. Now, by oil-based, I mean the effective insecticide is mixed with an oil so that it lasts longer and doesn't dry out as quickly. If you go to the home center, hardware store, mass merchant store, it's rare that you will ever find an oil-based insecticide anymore, because people have gravitated toward water-based because they're easy to use, there's no odor, they don't stain, and they're pretty effective for most people. But people that really have a problem, especially with roaches, and some other indoor insects, often want to get what the professionals use for real extermination purposes. And the professionals often use this because it really works.
Wow. Now, what about let's go back to the basics here. This mosquito bits for fungus gnat control, say on your house plants. That um, we went from the outside to the inside of the house.
It's the time of the year, Michael, that people are starting to bring their house plants indoors. If you're not in a climate where you can leave them out all the time and you want them indoors, a lot of people take them outdoors during the summer and then they'll bring them in as it gets to be fall and winter. And when they do that, often they're bringing pests inside with them. And a typical pest that comes in with them is one called a fungus gnat. So fungus gnat, I mean, it looks like a fruit fly, basically, to the naked eye. They're really small. They fly in clouds,
Yeah.
and they are really difficult to get rid of. So the mosquito bits, with the same active ingredient as mosquito dunks, which kill mosquito larvae, also kill fungus gnat larvae because fungus gnats and mosquitoes are in the same family. So when you mix this with water and you water your house plants with it, you can break the life cycle by killing the fungus gnat larva that's down in the soil. And then ultimately, there's not going to be any more fungus gnats unless you happen to bring them in the house again.
Wow. And I tell you, this is something really that goes unnoticed. You're trying to figure out why your plants are dying, or you just can't figure it out. And something that could be just as simple as what you're just explaining, right?
Oh, yeah, it's become very, very popular for us because they're safe to use around people, plants, pets, kids. I mean, they're pretty much harmless. It's a no-brainer, easy to use. You could just use them every time you water, so you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Bill, we're gonna you're gonna be here for the whole hour, so don't go nowhere. We have to take care of some business right now, so we're gonna come back, and we got so much to discuss here. Obviously, we're gonna talk about mosquito dunks, mosquito bits, which is the what we've been talking about, especially during the summer months. But these products and technology can be applied all year round, depending on your situation. So all right, we're gonna take a short break right here. This is Home Talk USA. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Nice. Take this very seriously. They're under every leaf in my yard, man.
What's that?
Ticks under every leaf in my
Oh,
yard.
ticks.
I just
Yeah,
saw
where
the
do you live?
craziest thing, and I don't know if it's true, but I saw like a zapper that you set up and it basically shoots out like a missile, like a dome defense. You ever see anything like that?
Uh,
Think of
don't
like
think so.
the Iron Dome.
Right?
It's like the zapper technology that we all know, except it's in a format where it's got like 4 little LED lights on it. When the bug flies by, it just indiscriminately zaps everything that flies by.
Well, that doesn't help with ticks because
I
they
was
don't
just gonna
fly.
Yeah.
say, I was just gonna say they ain't gonna. I mean, it really probably would not do much in my yard, but kill all the moths and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, here we go. Segment 3 in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Home Talk USA, right here on the King Broadcasting Network. Don't forget this segment of the show is sponsored by one of our oldest sponsors, Aztec Washer, revolutionary and innovative roofing products since 1968. Seal it right, seal it tight. AztecWasher.com. That's AZTEC Washer.com. All right, don't forget, top of the hour, we're going to have the inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. And then on the third hour, we're going to have the Made in America show right here on Home Talk USA radio program. I'm the Cajun contractor, Michael King. Anything you want to know about the show, topics, go to hometalkusa.com. You can catch our archives, all our past shows. You can also catch our television show at hometalktv.com. We have this week's episode sitting there for you to watch it. So it's great information. We cover all the aspects of your home. And if you have a subject matter, again, you would like to discuss here on this show, just send me an email at michaelking1350@yahoo.com. Everybody always is asking me, where do you get that 1350? Well, it's my first radio station down in the Big Easy, New Orleans. The oldest radio station in New Orleans was News Talk 1350 AM. Went back since 1910. So that was my first affiliate. And I've always kept that the 1350. And of course, the internet, Google was all young at the time. And, so I've always kept Michael King 1350@yahoo.com. All right. So we're talking to Bill Stengel. Bill is with Summit Solutions. And just for the break, though, we were talking about house plants, a lot of the house plants inside this time of year. We were talking about the fungus, the gnats, and the plants. But I want to get back to the main course. We always have the appetizer, but Summit Solution is known for mosquito bits, mosquito dunks. So explain a little bit about the process. So what is mosquito bits, mosquito dunks, and why was it developed, and how easy it is to use? And again, all these products we're talking about when it comes to repellents are do-it-yourself, right? You don't have to be a professional pest control person to use these products. And it is suggested you do read the labels, right, Bill?
Definitely. Yeah, you don't have to be a professional, but always read the labels. Oftentimes, and I've been guilty of it myself, I figure, well, if a tablespoon is good, then 2 tablespoons got to be twice as good, right? But no,
Yep.
just, yeah, read the directions, follow the directions. You'll be very happy.
Yep. So let's talk about that. Again, let's go back to the house plants. I know before the break, though, we talked about the green armor, insect repellent clothing and gear, which I thought was fantastic. And then we got into the Summit Ultra Permicide, and then the Permicide P concentrate, which is, it's all total together. But with all that being said, we're in the fall season right now, and maybe you can just go over some of the things to look out for, prevention, not just the user of the products themselves, but things we can do as a homeowner.
Yeah, and depending on where you live, you may still be experiencing warm season pests, or as the temperature gets cooler, then you're not going to have all those warm season pests, at least not outdoors, but you may have some of them coming indoors. So, you can have spiders and crickets and all kinds of stuff coming in the house. So, as a homeowner, you want to be diligent to make sure your house is as sealed up as possible so that these critters can't get in. So, walk around your house, look at your foundation, see if there's any cracks, seal any cracks you see with caulking. Treat the outside perimeter of your house. I mean, we have some products that you can spray around the perimeter, which will keep a lot of these pests from coming in. It'll keep them away from the exterior of your home. And I mean, that's
Yep.
really important. Make sure your gutters are clear. Make sure that any area where insects can be drawn, and it could be a wood pile, it could be leaf litter. Just look at those areas and think like a bug. Would I like to be there? And if so, clean it all up.
And it's a constant challenge, Bill, too. It's just a constant challenge. But man, we're not just talking about the nuisance of mosquitoes. We're talking about the health issues, because if you have some underlying health conditions, man, this can really, like they say, basket the problem,
Definitely.
Yeah. So we're getting towards the end of the year, and I know you guys are constantly, your R&D department, your people that really work together to put these chemicals together, it's a year-long process, and not only for this year, but y'all got to anticipate what's going to happen next year, right?
It is, but actually, Michael, it's probably more of a 4 or 5 year process because most of these products have to go through EPA registrations. And to get a product through EPA, you have to prove efficacy that it actually works. You have to prove the safety of the product. They evaluate it and they take their time evaluating it, where we come in with something and think, okay, you should be able to rubber stamp this and we should be able to get it on the market. It doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah.
So
Well, you have a lot of government agencies involved too, that has to involve when you deal with chemicals. Not only do you have the government agencies, but you got your state, local, municipality agencies. Now, federal law supersedes, state law supersedes local law. But at the end of the day, they all work together because they all have the things that you have to worry about. So you don't only have one agency you have to appease, but you really got 3 or 4 that you have to appease too. Because you might have some local, especially down in subtropical area. I live in New Orleans. We have different issues when it comes to subtropical weather that like in Florida. I'm talking about where you might not have in the dry areas of Nevada and Mexico. You know what I'm saying, Bill? So it's I guess per case basis. You know what I mean?
definitely, and yeah, even though you have a product that may be EPA approved, so the federal government's saying yes, you can go ahead and sell this anywhere in the U.S. You do have states that are more restrictive, and they'll say, I'm sorry, this chemical is not allowed in our state. We don't care what the feds say. We've had our issues with it in the past, and we're just not allowing it. Fortunately, we have very, very few of those products, but I know we do have a couple of products on our website, our professional products that we can't
Yeah,
sell to New
to the
York, we
public.
can't
That's right.
sell to
Yeah,
California.
and it's a challenge because again, you have to, for whatever reason, environmental regions. All right, we're gonna have to take a short break again. We're talking to Bill Stingle. This is Home Talk USA right here on the Home Talk Radio Network. I'm the Cajun Contract. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Not a big deal, but had to
Yeah,
get you out of there.
yeah, that's fine.
Segment 4, correct?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
We're
Wow.
rolling
This
on.
hour went fast, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, Bill's a good man. He good conversation because he has a subject matter we can talk. I know I'm rushing through this. I got a lot of information, but actually, we could do 2-3 hours on this.
No, I'm obsessed with it. Listen, I'm not kidding you. I've been bit dozens
Oh yeah,
of times.
Yeah, well, come down here in the South. Our mosquitoes, are this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bang against you.
Gators.
Actually, yeah, they'll break your windshield. That's how big they are.
All right, here we go. Segment 4 in 3, 2, 1.
Yahoo! Welcome back to Home Talk USA, right here on the Kings Broadcasting Network. Don't forget, this segment of the show is brought to you by Lion Energy. That's right. You can go anywhere with portable power, solar generators, lionenergy.com. Don't forget, we are in hurricane season right now. So when we're talking about backup power, solar backup power, think Lion Energy. But we're talking about another serious matter right now with Bill Stingle with Summit Solutions, one of the leaders in pest control solutions. And we've talked about, I know we kind of brushed over this green armor insect repellent clothing and gear, but I want to go back to that. I know we started the show with that, but I need to tell you that this is really ingenious to come up with a system where it's a perfect, like you said, this time of year, you discuss for hunters, hikers, and campers, especially in hunters, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of different species of insects that can really cause a lot of problems, and then to top of that, you know, realistically, there's really no better product for repelling when we was talking about the ticks when you're in the woods. And I want to go back to that because again, this could become serious because usually hunters are in a still position, a motionless position. They're sitting there, lying there. I mean, this could create a lot of problems. So I want to go back to that and how I guess what I'm asking you, Bill, how serious is the problem really is? And it must be serious to develop a whole line in some type of repellent clothing. You know what I mean?
It is, Michael. And if you go online, you can actually find clothing manufacturers that have clothing that's treated to repel ticks and chiggers and mites. And it's not inexpensive. And after a while, you have to be willing to retreat it, whether you send it back to the manufacturer or you use our product or a similar product to treat it yourself. But you don't have to buy clothing that's already treated. You can use this on any clothing, any gear that you have, which makes it really nice. And one thing I didn't mention, because a lot of people, hunters and hikers, they want to take their dogs with them. You can use this on your dog and it'll kill and repel ticks and fleas on your dog for up to 4 weeks. It just stays in the fur of the dog and it works really well. I know a lot of people that, even though they have a flea or tick collar, they're not real happy of the results of that. Um, but I'm saying, continue using your flea and tick collar, but go ahead and apply this on your dog, and you'll be really happy with the results.
Yeah, because you have different pets, different dogs, different pets. Some are indoor pets, dogs, cats, whatever. Usually the dogs are a tick problem. Or you have
Yeah,
your
so I got to tell you on this though, Michael, we can't
yeah.
tell people to use it on cats.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it might be a problem. But what I'm saying is interior, exterior animals, dogs, they might be playing, outdoor all during the day, but it's really an indoor dog. So, I mean, whatever outdoors is you're going to bring inside your house. That's just the fact of life, right, Bill? If it's outside, you bring it in inside, the
Yep.
fleas, stuff like that. You know. So, Bill, let me ask you this now. We only got a couple more minutes left. Now, we talk about prevention. We talk about inspection. We talked about the products to take care of these things. You also mentioned these products are safe, but the most importantly is that I know I'm going back to the do-it-yourself issue. These again, I want to stress on this. This is all do-it-yourself solutions, right? Because you have a professional department that handles the professional part of this. And you have to have a certain license to deal with certain chemicals, which we talked about. But
We do. We
yeah,
do. But like the Summit Ultra Permacide, we sell that widely to the professional trade. But the average homeowner can use that product. It's available
yeah,
for them to use. They don't have to have a license for it. So,
yeah.
that's why I wanted to talk about that today.
Yeah, it's so important that these products can be used by the end user. And just like I know, uh, read the labels. It's so important because it really spells out. And plus, on your website, why don't you go ahead and give us that website right quick? And I'm going to ask for it again, but all the information on Summit Solution stuff.
It's summitchemical.com. And we have a nice website. And the real nice thing about it, Michael, is that your listeners can access it from your website.
Yes, yes. You have your own page on our website. That's how important it is to access it at hometalkusa.com. You see it, and then it's linked straight to you guys. And as a matter of fact, we had a discussion before I even got you on the air, and hoping that you can come down to South Louisiana next year, and we can get you on our television, get some film where you can actually demonstrate. It's been a while since we've done that. We used to have another company that we got some film on, and so important when they can actually see these products in action on film.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah, film. One thing is to discuss it, another thing is to see it. But Bill, we're out of time, man. Thank you so much. Give us that website again.
It's summitchemical.com.
Say it again.
Summitchemical.com.
Well, Bill, we want to thank you again for coming in a couple of times. Looking forward to talking to you next year, and be safe out there. Thank you, Bill. Bill Stingle.
Michael, always Solutions. A pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you for your service to the community.
You got it, Bill Stingle. All right. Well, don't forget, top of the hour is the Invent America show with the inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton, with myself, the Cajun contractor, right here on Home Talk USA, streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. Stay with us as we keep this big train rolling when it comes to home improvement information and education. It's always HomeTalkUSA.com. Don't forget to check out our online, our on-demand, our podcast, our television show, all our guests, our topics. So, right, stay with us. We're going to roll into the next hour. I am the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and this is Home Talk USA, right here on the King's Broadcasting Network.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
Mics
buddy.
are off.
All right, great hour, and I'll talk to you at the end.
So we are coming up on hour 2, segment 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome, America. That's right. This is the King's Broadcasting Network, and you are now tuning in to the Invent America show with the inventor lady herself, with myself, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, with inventor lady Rita Crompton. We want to welcome all of our Home Talk USA radio audience that's carrying over to the Invent America show. I'm often asked, Cajun man, can you explain Home Talk, Invent America, Made in America? Guys, it's just one show. But what we've done, and we find it more effective since we cover all these issues, is when we talk at Home Talk, we're talking to the manufacturers, we're talking to the products, the technologies. But when we cover all the Invent America issues or how to get your product to market, we were scheduling all over the clock here, all over the spectrum. So we wanted to focus specifically on that. And it's been a real successful venue, just like the Made in America. So that's basically right, Rita. We'd like to welcome her now. But Rita, we're trying to make it focus and narrow into one subject matter, that where we can focus on that one subject matter. And that's the reason why we broke off one big show with 3 little small umbrellas. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And it's so wonderful the way they overlap and work together. We've enjoyed watching it evolve over the years. And, because so many of the shows that you were doing, they started with an inventor solving a problem.
Yeah.
Well, how did that inventor get there? And then, on the ones that had products and they were made in America, well, let's share that story because every inventor's got a story. So, it's really been interesting the way things have evolved and yet how they fit together so well. And, it's exciting to let the American consumer know how challenging it is and what the inventor has to go through. But for a lot of folks out there, it's like, the fantasy is, being able to come up with an invention someday. Well, this is what you have to do. This is what you go through and, avoid these mistakes and, focus on this. So it's been fun telling the stories and, sharing the backdrop of all these inventions that people can find out there.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that because we've been, in radio, let's face it, in radio, nobody listens to like 3 hours straight. They come in, they come out, they come in and out. But if you advertise in advance and say, this is going to be the agenda of the day, then you have more of a target audience, and that's what we're trying to do, is have a target audience to discuss that particular home need, construction need, home improvement, invent,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
How about Christmas need? Okay, because we are entering the Christmas season and, so many of these inventors would love to be able to, get you to buy their products. right before the Christmas season. But it is amazing how people can get so excited when they get something. I never saw this on the market. I used to do that for my family, is that, they'd get new products that were just getting into the marketplace, and they were always so excited. It was the whole show around Christmas was the new products that I was promoting and coming into the marketplace that I shared with
Yeah.
my family. And we always had a really good time. So, heck,
Yeah.
guys, it's a fun conversation when you give somebody something that's brand new that they didn't even know was available out there, and you say, okay, this is a cool new invention.
Yeah, and I want to mention the fact it was kind of getting confusing a little bit because I'm going to use you at the trade shows. I remember going into your booth, would set up. You'd have, you always made sure you found me wherever I was at in the building where I was broadcasting. But the thing is, we jammed too much information too fast, too quick with too many companies. This is company A. This is what you do. Next, this is company B. This is what you do. Company C. And it became like confusing a little bit. We just put too much out there too fast, but now we could slow that train down a little bit and discuss the blueprint to do all these things that we discuss here on a regular basis. And one of the most important things that we have to discuss, man, is managing your time. I mean, the persistence has to be there, and that's the biggest downfall that a lot of young inventors have. They have no clue about a plan and how to manage that time, right, Rita?
Oh, absolutely. And life gets in the way for all of us. I mean, a year ago, we had a hurricane coming through here. And, you pull yourself up, you brush yourself off, you get back on track. And I tell inventors, it's like everybody's got time issues. That is the one thing we've never learned how to invent more of. Once the time is gone, it's gone. You can always make more money, can't make more time yet. So we look at then, how do we manage that mess called life that gets in the way? Well, you brush yourself off and you get back on track. And for a lot of inventors, they sign up to go to a trade show. I know Deb she's going to be a guest. She's already signed up to go on to the show that's coming up. And it helps keep them on track because they've got a deadline. And a lot of times that deadline is like, I'm going to go to the Inventors Roundtable meeting because Rita's going to ask me, what have I done since I was there last? And I need to know that I've got to have an answer for her. Time frames, deadlines, that all helps to keep our inventors on track and moving forward. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to offer kind of a framework of time so that, the inventors would say, well, I was working on this and now I found one out there that's just like it. We had some inventors that did that just in the last couple of weeks, and they were so upset. It's like, because you didn't file your intellectual property, you're behind now, and they beat you. We had one that was 2 days. It was like 2 days of the filing dates on their patents, and they were just heartsick. And, it happens, but time is not your friend when it comes to inventing. It's just not.
No, it's not. And timing is everything, to be honest with you. You have different sorts of timing,
Oh, yeah.
Like I say, success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. That's just the bottom line.
Like
it goes
that.
back a long way. Opportunity must be preparation. And how many times you might have that opportunity, and we've discussed this, but you're just not prepared, or you're prepared, man, you're ready to go. The timing's just not right. And
Yeah.
then
Oh, and that makes a huge difference. I mean, there's inventors who will come up with an idea, they file their intellectual property, but the technology is not there yet to make it at a price the consumer will pay. And then, 10, 15 years later, now technology catches up. Now they can finally make it at a price the consumer will pay. But now the patent is almost expired. So staying on top of things, and a lot of inventors, man, they really watch that technology and how it relates to their patent. And so they will, sometimes they keep filing stuff. Sometimes, they'll add new technology to it and new filings to what they've already filed. But boy, you've got to watch it. And I always say that managing time is persistence. You've got to say, this is important to me, and I am going to be persistent with it.
Yeah, you're right. But man, tell us a little bit about the show today. We only got about a minute left, a couple of minutes left.
So, well, Carol is going to be on, and he's one of those that he's been working on this for 10 years, so time is really an issue for him. But technology now is caught up to it, and fortunately for him, he can still his intellectual property is fairly recent, so he's good to go on that. And Deb is out there with a new pet product. And she will be going to ASD Market Week. She's been manufacturing, so she stayed on top of this. I've had, like I said, I was sharing the story with a couple that had done some work on something, and it just, got away from them because they weren't paying attention. And another gentleman this morning, he, was talking all about the research, and he's got his business plan. It's like, I don't want to see a business plan. I want to know, did you do a search and did you get some intellectual property filed? Because that's what we have to work with. And so we do pay attention to time. And then Don Skaggs is our industry expert. He's been working with inventors for 2 decades, like I have. He's got his own products out there. So he has watched time slip away from inventors, and he's going to have some good insights for us.
Well, also, I want to mention to my audience, and me and you are going to be monitoring this. I want to get off. I know we don't get into politics here, but this is an important announcement I need to make. As we all know, that President Trump is meeting with Xi from China on Thursday. And it's going to be tariffs and trade, and that's going to dictate a lot of stuff. So we're going to stay on top of that, kind of talk about that, because that's really going to affect where we go forward, and to let our audience know, especially the inventors, of how Trump's going to deal with this big meeting that's going to dictate everything that we're trying to do. So I want to mention that, and I know we're going to talk about that probably Monday on the whatever's going to come from that China summit that's going to happen on Thursday. That's huge, man.
I'm sure we will. And inventors are still dealing with the fact that consumer is God when it comes to pricing. And there are things, it's like when we did the flagpole a few years ago, it was going to be $175 to do that flagpole in America. All right. When we did it overseas, okay, $6.75. And okay, that was sent already boxed, packaged, and in a pallet to her driveway, as opposed to a bunch of poles falling out of a big cargo box.
All right,
so
Rita,
it does make a difference.
Yeah, Rita, we're running over time right now. We're going to take a short break. This is Invent America Show. This is Cajun contractor Michael King with the inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton. We'll be right back. Yeah, y'all come back now. You hear?
Mics are off.
All right.
Okie dokie, thanks. All right.
Now, I had to mute our guests. Let me just ask them to unmute.
Yeah.
If everyone can unmute.
Carol, can you unmute?
Yeah, I heard some background noise from Carol. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do it.
There we go.
All right, Rita.
All right.
Rita,
Wait,
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Carol, we can't see you. I need cameras on.
That's what I was afraid of.
Nope, got to see you guys. We do a recording of this. It's a video as well.
Yeah.
Can you see me, Rita?
Nope, I cannot.
Well, I don't see how to turn it on. I'm unmuted.
I don't know how to turn it on.
I don't know how to turn the camera on.
All right, down at the bottom.
Yeah.
On the left side, if you go down to your bottom of your
says-
screen, on the left, you see audio and you should see a video.
It says stop video. Select a camera. Choose virtual background. Choose video filter. Choose avatar.
So over here.
Is that it?
No,
Integrated camera.
over there.
Okay.
Shoot.
Right here. See that right there? Yeah, this one. This one.
Choose video filter.
Deb, are you having any luck?
In 3, 2, 1.
Yahee! Welcome, America. This is the Invent America Show right here on the King's Broadcasting Network, along with my sidekick, the inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton. Don't forget the third hour, Made in America. So just stay tuned right here. All right, Rita, man, we got to get this thing going. We got to hold these guests. Who's our first guest? Oh, we have a sponsor, so we got to mention them, right? They have to pay for the show. Somebody's got to pay for this, right, Rita?
I know, right? All right. So, we are so grateful to have Aztec Washer. It's a revolutionary and innovative roofing product, all right, that seals your roof. Holy cow, it's been raining out here for 24 hours. So seal it right, seal it tight, aztecwasher.com. They have been in business since 1968, so they know what they're doing, everybody. All right, so my first guest today is Carol Stewart. Carol invented HVAC Hero. HVAC Hero. So Carol, tell everybody, what is HVAC Hero?
HVAC Hero is a cleaning unit that attaches to the top of the exterior HVAC systems. It's primarily to fight the enemies of an HVAC system, saltwater applications, washing the salt off the chassis on a daily basis, multiple times a day, uh, heavy snow areas where units tend to ice up, things of that nature. De-icer could actually be mixed with it in a cleaning situation. Uh, it's primarily to lengthen the life of the chassis and the unit itself from corrosion. We had EPA looked at it approximately 18 years ago, quite a while. And they said at that time that they felt the cleaning of the unit, the way we had projected, would save the unit by 5 to 7 years of corrosion, which in turn also would be less freon escaping from surfaces and so forth to the ozone. So they felt like that if and when the product was complete and in the market, it would be a green product.
Well, would you hurry up, please? All right, so we just got done hearing the fact that you've been working on this for a while. So tell us about, you've been fighting time for years. All right, what's the story?
Well, I invented the unit years ago for a friend of mine that had a situation at the ocean where he was tired of replacing units all the time. I tried many, many times to get different attorneys to handle things as far as getting me a patent on the product. And I ran into every brick wall imaginable because they didn't see the product. All they saw was an idea. And they classified what I had built as not an actual product. So I eventually found a company, which I'd rather not mention, that supposedly was helping me with my patent. And it took them 8 years to go through the paperwork, get everything in process. They were constantly putting the wrong drawings of the invention, and that was having to be changed back to my invention, not theirs. Uh, their attorneys, they went through, I think, 2 attorneys before they finally got to the one that ended up completing my patent. So the last 8 to 10 years, I've been going through this process with this particular company and finally got approved beginning of last year. I got my final patent.
Well, congratulations. And, yes, it can be a long haul, but generally, at 3 years, we're figuring, you know, long enough because that's average. 3 years is average to get a patent issued. So, the fact that you went through all of that time, I give you an A+ in persistence. So
Well, it
good
was a lot of
job.
money.
Well, that is true, and I give your wife an A+ too because she stuck with you, and I don't always see spouses doing that. And so, what's the next step now? Where are you going with this? I've seen your videos; they're awesome, and I certainly get it. We don't have the issue with salt out here. We have the issue with all the stuff falling out of the forest. So totally get what you're talking about. Just a little bit different enemy. So when you talk about we're gonna come back to that. All right. So what are your next steps? What are you trying to get done?
What I'm trying to do now is find a manufacturer that would purchase a license to manufacture and market the unit on the open market. That's my plan.
All right. And we're going to help you find that. So you talked about salt. Obviously, people get that if they're living, down along the coastal areas. What are some of the other enemies? There's a lot more to this country than just, salt water. What are some of the other enemies that your application helps to protect an HVAC from?
Well, it will help to wash the unit as far as dirt, dust, and things of that nature, which are all enemies of an outside HVAC system. One of the big things is up north where you have the heavier snows, especially in the wintertime and all. You could actually use a deicer in the mixture when it's sprayed to de-ice the units and wash the snow off the units to where they become more efficient during the wintertime.
Excellent, excellent. So what have you done? I mean, I've seen your video, so I know you've got the functioning prototype, the proof of concept prototype. What else have you done now to start getting this out there? Besides call me.
Nothing
Thank you
at
very
this
much.
point.
You called me. Yay, good job. You get an A plus.
I have kind of been sitting on it for quite a while. And I had a young gentleman call me about 3 months ago. I believe you know the gentleman. And matter of fact, he introduced us.
Yes.
And he seemed very excited about the unit. His words were, I didn't understand what I had and how much need there was for it because it can be used for commercial and residential possibilities. So, there's a lot there. It's just not knowing which way to turn on the next move to get it to market.
So, well, you took the next step that I suggested, which was the functioning prototype. And like I said, it is, it looks really, really good. You're a step beyond the duct tape and cardboard version of that. And I appreciate that because it's amazing how often I see the duct tape and cardboard version that is the first prototype. So you were really, really good about that and very professional. The unit looks very professional. So it will be easy to show, easy to demonstrate. And that's a good thing.
Well, I appreciate that, Rita. I really do. And, it's a situation where this unit, the good thing of this unit is the way I have perfected it myself is most of the parts, as far as any type of repairs down the line, like a clog, spray hit or something, can be bought locally. So it makes it very easy for the homeowner to, take care of a small situation. Oh, it's a situation to where the cleaning fluids and antifreeze fluids that are used in it are very simple. That can be bought locally as well. And this unit can actually be operated in 2 or 3 different ways. It could be hooked directly to a garden hose and a timer to where you time it, 2 or 3 times a day for a certain amount of time for spraying the unit and cleaning it.
Excellent.
Depending
So,
on the application needed at the time. I also
well,
work
Carol,
with,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we are running out of time for this segment and we've got to go pay some bills, everybody. So, stick with us. We will be right back with another inventor and another product and, different timing types of issues. But as Carol progresses through this process, we will let everybody know. And when his product is on the market, we will let you know that as well. So stick with us, everybody. We will be right back.
Mics are off.
All right, Carol, thanks so much. I'm sorry that I had to interrupt you.
no,
But
that's fine.
as the saying goes, there's
We're going to see each
time
other
has no
soon.
mercy. Yes, we will see you soon. And what I may do is see if my guy can grab the video that you sent and have that playing and rotating around your audio part.
All righty, darling.
Okie dokie. I will talk to you guys later.
All right, sweetie. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Deb, I still can't see you, but we're going to rock and roll with this, and you'll have to do everything with your voice. So we'll see what we can do to add, pictures behind your voice as well.
Okay.
All right. You need to come closer to the mic, honey.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
All righty. And okay, you can do the countdown, John. We are ready.
Okay, so this is segment 3, hour 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us for this episode of Invent America. And this segment is brought to you by Lion Energy. You can go anywhere with a portable power solar generator, lionenergy.com. Don't get caught out there without power. You know what? Lionenergy.com. That's where you want to go. And when you know an inventor, you are an inventor, you've got a neighbor who's an inventor, got a new product, and you want to go and show off and how do we sell this product? Join us at ASD Market Week. It is the biggest show in America for consumer products. It is business to business, and the buyers are there to buy product. Deb is going with us for to this show in March. Deb Wiedenhoff, and she has got a new pet product. It is the Pet Levator. And Deb, thanks for being with us today. Tell everybody, what did you invent and why?
Okay, well, Rita, thanks for having me on. The Pet Levator solves the dilemma of having a small pet on your lap, on your keyboard, and in your face while you're trying to work. And if, for example, every little kitten that I have ever seen wants to climb all over you. They climb up your leg, they climb up your arm, they get on your shoulders. But to balance a little critter on your shoulders, you're going to be hunched over. You're going to expose your neck, back, and shoulders to scratches. So the Pet Levator solves this problem. It allows you to stand up straight or sit up straight, and it also allows your hands to remain free so you continue to work either on your computer or in the kitchen. It more than doubles the shoulder space available for your little critter, and that allows for the stability, comfort, and safety of that little guy. You know, pets like being up close to their people, and they like snuggling around their people. And I've even had one cat that learned how to use the Pet Levator by watching the other cat. And then some of my customers have even said they want their cat to become a shoulder cat. They wanted to train their cat to be a shoulder cat, and they have successfully done that. So there's a lot of uses for the Pet Levator. Currently,
well, I've seen people that have had, a parrot on their shoulder, and that can get yucky. How much better would it be if they had Pet Levator and so they could wash the covering? I have seen people that have had little dogs. I mean, we don't think necessarily about dogs, but yeah, some of those little ones, they're up close and personal, and now they can just, relax and love on you.
right, exactly. You could use it for guinea pigs, bunnies, iguanas, lizards, any small little animal. I did give a Pet Levator to a neighbor, and they have a small dog that likes to get on their shoulders. So the Pet Levator is used for any little critter that likes to snuggle around their owners.
Absolutely.
I have 3 patents, one design patent that expires in 2036, and 2 utility patents that expire in 2037. So that gives you a big picture overview of the Pet Levator.
All right, well, that brings us then to time. All right, how long have you been working on the product, and how has time hurt you or helped you?
So it was Thanksgiving Day 2016 when I developed the first successful working prototype. I had found Bronco the cat that same year. Earlier in that year, he was rescued as a feral. And the first time I picked him up, he made his way up to my shoulders. And every time thereafter, to this day, when I pick him up, he climbs up on my shoulders.
Well,
So
that's so sweet. I think that some animals have more instinct to do that than others, but wonderful that he was your inspiration.
yes, he was feral, pretty wild. You know, it took me 5 months before I could even touch him. And once I could pet him, I wanted to train him to be a house cat. And to do that, I had to pick him up. I thought if he ever got out of the house, I need to be able to pick him up, get him back in. And that's when I realized he was a shoulder cat. And once a shoulder cat, always a shoulder cat. So
I never thought of him about that way. So yes, I can imagine.
So I got patent pending in April of 2017. I established LLC in 2019, and the business gradually grew since then. Back then, though, I was working full-time as an engineer, and the Pet Levator was really more of a hobby. It was always intended to be a business, but I did have limited time. In 2020, I was getting too many customers on social media, so I had to close down Facebook and Etsy as well. I did keep my website open, and to this day, that's the only place that the Pet Levator is available is on my website. So that's my whole marketing plan.
What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish?
Okay, so my ultimate goal is to, even though I love providing this pet levator to my customers. I've had over 335 customers. I've shipped to 11 countries. So I've had a successful test market at this point, and I've finalized and stabilized the design. So I'm pretty confident I've got a good product here that people need. But I do need help with manufacturing and marketing. I would like to find a licensee. I've got other inventions that I want to move on to. Gen Zs and millennials, you know, they're having fur babies instead of human babies. So there is a big need for pet products, and every little kitten that climbs all over you deserves a pet levator. And that's a lot of kitty cash. So elevate your pet with the Pet Levator brand pet perch.
There you go. And do you still have some inventory that people can go and purchase?
Yes, I do. I expect in the months of November and December to double all the sales that I've had the year so far. At least that's what happened last year. So yes, I'm ready for the Christmas season.
Well, and I was just going to say, and it's Christmas season out there, everybody. So if you know somebody with a kitty cat that likes to climb up and lay around their neck, help them out by getting the pet levator. And, you know, Deb, give us your website so people know where to go to find you.
Yes, it's shoulder cats are the letter R us.com.
And we will have links on our website so that you can go and find her more easily. And like I said, she is going to be going to ASD Market Week with us, see if we can find a licensee out there. And so that product is going to be on our websites, all of them. And, you know, everybody, you know, an inventor out there that should be going to sell their product, have them get in touch now. We are changing out all the logos so that we can advertise the new products going with us. And Stephanie Beringhala, our VP of Buyer Relations, she will take Deb's product out to any of the pet buyers that will be there and do early marketing for us. And we are always grateful for that. But, you know, the time before the show is just as important as the time at the show. Because we do get a lot of buyers that want to go and look. They want the new products. They want to be able to see this product that Deb has got that, you know, nobody really knew. You know, she had 350 sales. Now she wants 35,000. So we want to be able to get the products out there for all of our inventors. So you know somebody out there that is really struggling with the product. You know somebody out there that has got, you know, product in their garage and needs to sell it, have them get in touch. Deb, as we get ready to kind of wind this down, do you have any parting advice for an inventor?
Yes, I would say, you know, in relation to how has time hurt, when you first go patent pending, and if you plan on seeking a license agreement, I would start on that right away, because you don't know if you're going to be granted a patent or not. You know, had I known I was going to be granted 3 patents back in 2017, I would have started on this process much sooner. So 8 years have passed, and that hurts a little, because that's lost opportunity. Although on the flip side, from here going forward, there's 12 years remaining. So there's plenty of time to mass manufacture and mass market.
Well, there is. And like you said, you've got other things that you're working on. And we always talk about making sure that we keep product, you know, new. And, you know, if there's new technology that's coming in with the manufacturing, to pay attention to that. So we do, you know, stay on top of things, because we have to. You know, when we're trying to get a new product out there, all of the successful products that have been in the marketplace for decades, holy cow, you know what? They've got, you know, multiple patents on them, and multiple changes to all kinds of things, from packaging and names and taglines, and oh, we just added this new feature. So anyway, Deb, thanks so much for being with us today. We are grateful. We're looking forward to showing you off. I wish you could bring a couple of kittens with you, but I don't think they will allow those in the hall. But you know what? Bring a stuffed kitten and put it on that perch. Everybody will understand. All right.
Yes.
Everybody stick with us. We are going to be back in just a couple of minutes with our industry expert, Don Skaggs.
Mics are off.
Thanks, Deb. You did a good job. We're going to have to figure out technology, so when we have you on again, we can see you.
Okay.
All right, dear. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Skaggs, unmute yourself. How are you?
Ms. Rita, how are you doing?
See, he comes right in and crystal clear.
All
I
right.
Not
know.
a
Love it,
pixel
love
out of
it.
place.
I know. I know. All right. We're going to get this done, my dear. And we're going to talk about time. Have you
All
figured out
right.
how to invent more time, Don?
We're working on that right now.
Oh, good. I'm really glad. Let me know. All right. All right. Count us down, dear.
Excellent. This is segment 4, hour 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. We have been doing it forever, and we will continue to solve the problems for the American consumer. This segment is brought to you by Product Quick Start and Noah McNeely. We are so grateful that he does a lot of that manufacturing on products that we take to ASD Market Week. And I sent him a couple of folks this morning that have got new products and new ideas and need somebody feet on the ground here in America to help get those manufacturers' prototypes done. So Noah, thanks so much for being out there. My industry expert right now is Mr. Don Skaggs. He is an inventor himself, runs the Kentucky group, and helps a lot of inventors get their products from mind to market. And Don, thanks so much for being with us today. We are grateful to have you.
Well, Rita, thanks so much for the opportunity to get to talk to everybody out there in America.
Well, when we're talking to inventors that are dealing with time, all right, and we still haven't been able to figure out how to invent more time. They say it's out there, but
We're working on it.
Yeah, I know. We've got a lot of people thinking, oh my God, I'm out of time. So, as I get up and I'm older, it's like, I want that last 5 years back. No, I'll take 20. If I'm going for it, let's get 20. And so
Well, yeah.
what's the craziest story you've heard of about inventors dealing with time?
Oh, where do I even begin? Probably one of the real big standouts was the guy, and actually this was an associate of mine in the entrepreneur space, and she had an next door neighbor. She had no idea he was even an inventor, but he had an invention that he was working on in his garage for 10 solid years. He was
Wow.
trying to perfect it, and it's like, oh, it's just not perfect yet. It's not. And he would just take that time, and it just, yeah, 10 years, and the technology and the world passed him by, and all the opportunities along with it. But we teach our inventors. We tell them. We say, at kyinventors.org, we teach them. We say, you treat your invention, your product, your startup. You treat it just like you make an appointment with it. You make an appointment just like it's an appointment with a doctor or an attorney. You say to yourself, you write down on paper, on purpose, you make a promise to yourself that, all right, on Wednesday night between 6 and 9 p.m., I'm putting down the remote, I'm putting down the cell phone, I'm getting up, and I'm going out to my attic, my garage, my basement, and I am working on my invention. I am working on my product. I am working on my startup. But a lot of times people have a hard time committing to do that, and it just takes discipline.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell them the same thing. It's like you put it on your calendar every week. Which
Yep.
day are you going to work on it? How long are you going to do this? What are you going to work at? It's like, it's one thing you say, well, I'm going to work on my invention, and then they go sit down and they have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
And stuff. It's like, no, no, no. These are the things that you do. And, whether it's going out and doing some research, but I get people they'll spend years doing research. It's like,
Yes.
you go out and you look for it, you don't find it, you get your provisional patent filed, you go out, you do a prototype, and then you have somebody start taking a look at it. And I used to have a gentleman when we lived in Denver that would actually go with the inventor. We would sit down, would have coffee, and he'd say, okay, I see this one on the top shelf at Lowe's. I've seen this one online here. Go look for it here. It's like, no, no, this is a good one. This is what you want to work on. And, that inventor, he still gets views and stuff. And that's been
Yeah.
10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
On this new
we
product.
call it getting trapped in the town of Tinkerville. So, it's population 1, and you're trapped, and you can't, it's like a Twilight Zone episode almost. You're trapped in this little town and you can't get out because you're tinkering and tinkering and tinkering.
Yeah. And for some folks, okay, you're a tinkerer, and that's where you relieve stress. I had a guy in northern Colorado, and he just made them in his basement. He got a trademark on the product. He goes, I'm just making them and selling them because they're a ton of fun and my de-stressor. And
Yes.
okay, that's terrific. And he goes, if somebody knocks it off because it's a fun idea, yay, go me, I'm happy to help. And then I move on to my next tinker because
And
that was his de-stressor. But then you get somebody else that's like, no, I want to buy an island.
yeah, right, exactly. And that's where the problem occurs, is if you want to be, and I'm thinking of one of our folks we worked with, and that would show up at every one of our workshops with a new item, a new invention. And he actually built one, and it was really cool and it really did stuff. But he was a tinkerer. He was having the time of his life. And if his name was George, and if you wanted to be like George, that's no problem. But if you expect an exchange of money for your idea, that's called doing business. And you have to do the hard things, the things that are outside of your comfort zone in order to do those business things and actually get to that exchange of money.
You really do. And so, you got to stay on track. There's certain steps you've got to take. And then there's a time when you call in, then help. All right,
Yes.
help me now. I need to know what to do. And I had a guy the other day say, well, I'm not going to send you my business plan. It's like, I don't want to see your business plan. You don't have a business yet. You haven't even filed a patent. There's no business plan. So it's like, steps in the right order. It's not that a
Yep.
business plan wouldn't be necessary at some point, but not now. You are in fantasy land. And so, reality check is, did you do a search yet? Oh, no, I haven't done that yet. I wrote a business plan. Ugh. So we do help try to keep inventors on the right track. If they get to the point where they don't want to tinker anymore and, live in a fairy tale, they actually want to be able to sell the product, get it out there into the marketplace and have buyers.
Exactly.
So anyway,
Exactly.
that's part of the fun when we get to talk to them, and then sometimes they're so serious,
Oh, I know.
and stuff about the fact that, oh, my grandson invented these. Oh, very cool. Did you file a patent on it? No, but it was his idea, and they took it. It's like, I'm really not sure that one's going to qualify. That because you still can't see inside his head. And smart grandson, but that's kind of the way it goes. Don, thanks so much for being with us today. I know that we will have you back on because you work so much with inventors, and it's so much fun to visit with you. Everyone, if you know an inventor, if you are an inventor, you want to be an inventor. All right, get in touch with one of us because we're going to help keep you on track. We're going to answer your questions, and we're going to help you not make the big mistakes. And Don, I'm going to have you back on in a couple of weeks because we're talking about big mistakes, and there are a
Absolutely.
ton of them out there. So
Yeah.
everybody, you know what? We're going to be back now with an hour of Made in America. So stick with us because now you'll know where to go and buy those really cool products made in America.
Thanks, Rita.